cause I'm throwing money. They think that it's fucking funny, but I'm getting money. I only live one way, that's Monday through Sunday. See me on that. What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. Y'all know what it is. Free picks every single day. NBA Talk with Jay. I will start to post more videos as well, late night videos as well. But if you like to get all my picks, this is where you come here live every single day, 11 a.m. Eastern time, my guys. Also 1 p.m. Eastern. But let's get to some cash here, guys. Let's get here, man. I appreciate you guys in the chat. What's up, Mo? I see you, Detroit Gator, Boss, CEO Sean, Josh, everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate your time for being here with me. But now, guys, let's get straight down to business here, guys. That's how we do it. If you can, hit the like button, subscribe, and share the show as well to your friends, family, and social media. Let's get straight to it here, guys. First game up, we're going to the streets of Cleveland here, guys. We have the Cavs going up against the 76ers, right? Sixers, huge comeback win in their last game, but that was their fifth game in 7 nights. First game back with Joel Embiid. It wasn't fifth game in 7 nights for him. They did put things together in the second half versus the Atlanta Hawks. Now, you have to ask yourself, was that more on the Sixers or was that on the Hawks just being ass, or was the Hawks just being disconnected or not having a great bench? I think it was more on the Hawks when they comeback win. Sixers were supposed to run out of gas in there. Now, they have covered 8 out of the last 9 games here. I tell you what I'd like to do, man. I wish Jared Allen was in this game, man. I could only look at the Cavs here. 5 times revenge spot for versus Philly. So they've lost 5 straight games to the 76ers, guys. They lost all 4 meetings last year and a time this year, if I'm not mistaken. First time Cavs have been favored in this meeting since 2017. This line is all over the Cavs, man. I was looking at the past 10 games. I'm like, man, why these guys haven't been favored? Now, they hadn't played so far this year, but they have lost the last 5 to Philly. But Cleveland has not been a favorite over the 76ers since 2017, guys. Bounce back spot after only held to 88 points versus the Toronto Raptors, right? 76ers due to come down. This is their 6th game. Remember, I tell you, they just got the win in a 5th game in 7 nights spot. Now this is 6th game in 9 nights. 4 of those games are on the road as well. So Embiid, it could be fatigued. Just as a basketball player, when you come back from not playing for a while, you're kind of tired. You see what I'm saying? Especially when you're not really in shape. So let's see what happens. They will need to play a top tier game here, the Sixers, to come in here and beat these Cavs. So it's not something that I bet yet, but I want to take Cavs here. Cavs should be a look here on the card. Let's just put it this way. If I was making a play on every game, I'd definitely be taking the Cavs here, minus the 3.5. It's the only way I could look. And I do think that they will bounce back here offensively. I think the Sixers may run out of gas late in this one. So Cavs, minus 3.5. This line is all over them. The fact that they're even favoring this game tells you a lot, especially with the past history of these two teams. So I like Cavs, minus 3.5. I may end up betting that one. I'll post it on the Action Network app or on Twitter if I end up getting there, my guys. Heavily lean to the Cavs. Let's go over here to the streets of Orlando here, guys. We got the Magic getting 6 points versus the Hawks. It won't take me much time for this one. I don't even have many notes written down on this game. I know that the Magic aren't necessarily playing their best basketball right now. They've lost 5 straight games. They're only 3-3 against the spread last 6. But I don't want to have anything to do with this game. Obviously, I would want to lean Hawks here. Hawks have lost 3 straight games. Obviously, they're a better team, but I don't want to bet on the Hawks right now, man. I just don't. I'll say it time and time and again. Until they trade John Collins, I don't think this is a bet on team. It's not saying that they can't cash the ticket. They did already beat Orlando earlier this season, October 21st, 108-98. They were laying 8.5 in that one. Now they're laying 6 on the road. They should get the win. In theory, they should get the cover. It's just their bench is horrible in my opinion. I'm definitely not laying points on the road with the Hawks, but would lean that way. If I had a free play on the game, I'd be taking Hawks minus 6, but I chose to stay off, guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Boston here. Another simple one here for me. I know that it'd be nice to try to find some spots to fade the Celtics. I'm not doing it. This team is 17-4. They're 10-1 at the house. I'm not betting against them. It's real simple. When I look at Celtics
games, it's either I'm taking the Celtics or I'm staying off. Don't like that the Heat, they do in theory have playoff revenge. They did play them close earlier this season, only lost that game by 7 points, 111-104. Obviously, they're without Jimmy Butler. They're the walking wounded right now, kind of sort of guys. I'm kind of off the Heat right now. Would I be surprised if they covered? No, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Celtics smoked them there by 20 points, guys. So would like to say I lean to the Heat, but I'm not. I don't even lean against the Celtics, guys. Real simple. You take the Celtics or you just don't bet the game right now. Let's go over to the streets of New York here, guys. I like to simplify things. See what I'm saying? You simplify, you go with your angles, you find your spots, and we will win, guys. Hopefully. We got the Knicks here going to the streets of New York. We got the Knicks here getting 5.5/6 points at the house. They're coming off a back-to-back, right? They just smacked up the Pistons, smoked them 140-110, rolled them up and gassed them up. But you got the Bucks here. I do lean Bucks here, guys. I'll be honest. They're 4-0 straight up and against the spread last four versus the Knicks. They obviously have the rest advantage. Also 4-1 against the spread last 5 on the road versus losing teams. That's what they have here. But the Knicks are 18-5. Historically, they're good on back-to-backs. 18-5 last 23 games playing on the back-to-back here, guys. So Knicks, I still think that they're somewhat vulnerable, especially their defense do seem to be trying to play a little bit better. They lost versus Portland, but that game went to overtime. Lost versus Memphis. That was a 4-point game, though. So they seem to play a little bit better past 4 games. I don't have much on this. I would lean Bucks, though. But would I be surprised if the Knicks got it done? I do think that the Bucks are slightly overvalued. I do think you can find spots to fade them. This is the first game on the road after 4 straight home games, and then they go right back to the house to face the Lakers. I still lean Bucks. I feel like Giannis, he might want to show out in the Garden over there. Obviously, top tier players always like to show out in the Garden, but who's going to stop Giannis? I'm not sure here. But like I say, I'll be honest. After Giannis, I'm not a real fan of the Bucks. Like I know Grayson Allen's a baller, Javon Carter, Brook Lopez. He's getting up there in age. You got some ballers, Bobby Portis. I don't think they were as good as they used to be. Let's just put it that way, guys. So I do personally like to find spots to fade the Bucks. I'm not doing it here. I'd lean Bucks, but it's a tough game. Would be surprised if the Knicks covered. Y'all know me, man. I don't bet games where I don't really have a strong feel on. Let's go to the streets of Brooklyn here, man. We got the Nets here. The Nets are due to cluster wins, in my opinion. Now, a little something holding me off this game. The last time they faced off, Nets smoked them by 42 points. But I could still only look towards Nets here, man. They're due to cluster wins. They did win 128-86 on November 4th. And this is their 6th game in 9 days. But this is their 3rd straight home game as well. So at least they've been a little bit off of their travel. They have the much better bench and the much better guards here. Wizards, they're due to regress here off this big shooting game off the Timberwolves. They scored 142 points in that game, man. They are 0-3 straight up and against the spread last 3 road games. They've only played 3 road games in the last 10, if I'm not mistaken. So Wizards, obviously, they'll want some revenge. You're going to look at it and say, hey, look, we got smoked by 40 by you guys. We're going to want to come back from that, but I'm not totally sure they're good enough. The KD is absolutely locked in right now. Now, Ben Simmons is out in this game, so that's not good. I believe Watanabe is still out as well. They're definitely missing his energy out there, but I still would lean Nets here, guys. It's the only way I could look. I didn't like the fact that it's 6 game in 9 days, and they're, you know what I'm saying, in theory, Wizards have major revenge, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Nets smoked them again. Not by 40, but, you know what I'm saying, by 10 points or something. I'd lean Nets there, guys. So if I had to play on the game, I'd be taking Nets minus the 5. Let's go. Let's get over here to some officials here, guys. People aren't going to like this play, and I don't care. And I'll be honest with you, if you don't like it, you take with what you know, or if you don't like side, just don't take the game, right? I'm on the Wolves here. I took them last night at +4. So I did a video on them at +3.5. Did have a feeling that this game may move here. I think some sharper people may be looking at the same thing as I'm looking here, and you may have to ask yourself, real quick, I got to get some drink real quick. You ask yourself, Karl-Anthony Towns out for several weeks now. Will the Wolves take a step back? It's hard for them to take a step back. They just lost 3 straight games in blowout fashion, right? So I think Cat out is going to be addition by subtraction. What we're seeing with these guys, Gobert and Cat, it wasn't fitting, man. It wasn't working together. So I'm not saying that it can't, but it was it's a huge learning curve for the guys. It wasn't working out, man. I do think this will be one where Gobert can kind of get back to playing like his days in Utah, where he's the only big out there. So you run in pick and roll, you stay close to the basket on defense, make sure no one gets easy backers in the paint, aka Ja Morant. So I think that's going to be key here, man. They have playoff revenge. Remember, they got kicked out of the playoffs by this Grizzlies team last year, right? The Wolves match up really well with these guys. I know they're not playing well right now, and they also lost a game earlier this season in Memphis. But remember, there was Gobert and Cat still early season, still trying to figure things out. So you got playoff revenge plus same season revenge, in desperate need of a win, guys. This is a must-win J spot. You've lost 3 straight after a 5-game win streak. They were just playing some of their best basketball. Now I must say it was a tough travel spot. Playing the Warriors, coming back home, playing the Warriors. Then you head right back out on the road versus the Wizards. It's somewhat unfair if you ask me. I was looking at that. I was like, that's kind of messed up, bro, the way that they scheduled them. But they've had a day off for rest now. I'm looking at them, man. I'm looking at the Wolves. I'm on them, guys. I haven't taken the money line. I think the Wolves win this game. Grizz 0-4 straight up, 0-4 against the spread last 4 versus a team with losing record. So they have somewhat been playing down to their competition. Only 1-5 against the spread last 6 games, following the ATS win. I got to take the Wolves here, guys. Nothing's guaranteed, but I do think this is a spot where they will show up here at the house. I know the Grizzlies are a great team. Ja Morant's a baller, man, MVP type of player, but I just feel like the Wolves as a team put it together here collectively. And you want to, and we know how it is. Players step up as well, man, when someone goes out. This team, and it's somewhat like a relief as well. Cat could have tore his Achilles or some guys. So the fact that he's only out for like 7 weeks with a calf strain is actually really good news. With the things that I'm reading, that the Wolves are actually really excited about this. Not that he got hurt, but he could have literally been out for 2 years, guys. Got tore his Achilles. He would have been out for the rest of this year and next year for sure, guys. So I think they're kind of happy that it wasn't as bad. So, but regardless of that, I think some guys step up here. Last thing I'll say on this game, I hope Jaden McDaniels comes back here. Defense is a little bit different without him out there. He was sick the past couple games. He did get upgraded to questionable. So hopefully that's a good sign. This team will have like 3 days off after this. So I'm hoping Wolves go balls to the wall here, get this win. Always say when you lose to a team in the playoffs, that's the peak motivation spot. It's not guaranteed, guys, but it's the spot that I'd like to be on. You see what I'm saying? I do think that this cash is at over an 85% clip, going with the heavy motivation spot circled spot here. Give me the Wolves here. Spot circle, Jay. Must win, Jay. Bounce back, Jay. All that shit. Wolves plus 2.5. Top play of the day. Top. All right, let's go. Can't wait to baby. Let's go over here to the streets of Pelicans. Let's go over here to the streets of New Orleans here, man. This shit kind of get me hyped up, man. I can't lie, but let's go over here to the streets of New Orleans here, man. We got the Pelicans here. I'm definitely gonna wake the baby up. Pelicans getting 1 point at the house, man. I'll be honest. I don't really agree with the Pelicans being a dog here. The Pelicans are 7-3 straight up here at the house. The Raptors are 3-7 on the road. So you get a good home team here versus a team that really hadn't been playing their best basketball on the road. Pelicans 4-0 against the spread and 3-1 straight up last 4 versus the Raps. They have also won 6 of the last 8 games and 7 out of the last 10. They have the defense to match up with these guys, man. Raps only 1-4 against the spread last 5 road games and first game on the road after 3 straight home games. So they were starting to shoot a lot better at the house, but now coming on the road, going all the way down to New Orleans, could be a little funky over there. And they have the Nets on deck as well in a couple of days. So I lean Pelicans here. I want to take the Pelicans here, guys. I'm really close to taking Cavs and Pelicans. This should be a day where I just go with my spots, see what I'm saying, and go 4-1 at the worst. But I'll tell you what, I do like the under in this game. I like Pelicans and under here, guys. So I hadn't bet it yet. I'll be honest. I put a little something on the under 224.5 last night just because I'm like, I think there's too many points, man. We see it come down to 222.5. I still like the under here, guys. I mean, what do we have here, guys? We have so let me just look at it real quick. So defensive rating so far for the season, Pelicans, number 5, Raptors, number 7. So you have 2 of the top 7 defensive teams in the league. Now let's look at pace here, guys. 2 of the bottom 8 slowest teams here, guys. No, I don't want to look at ads right now. I don't want to look at ads. We're trying to get some cash here. So what do we have? Raptors, 25th. So they have the sixth slowest pace in the league, and then the Pelicans sitting at like somewhere around 17th. So, but still, Pelicans pace won't totally be there without having Brandon Ingram out there, right? And McCollum, he's questionable, come back from the illness. That's maybe why this line's flipped to the Raptors, or is because if McCollum's in, I definitely think the Pelicans close as a favorite here. If McCollum's in, I'll probably end up on the Pelicans here, guys. I definitely think they match up well versus this team. I know that Siakam's back for the Raptors, but maybe like the same thing with the Sixers. First game back, they got the win, came out with energy. Second game back might be the letdown spot, in my opinion. I might have to take this, man. I want to take this. You know what I'm saying? You can't be afraid. You got to go with your captain and go with what you know. And I know my guy, Josh, I respect him a lot. He's on Raptors. I like Pelicans here, man, but I can't say I do think the total is a lot better play because both teams are going to play a little bit slower. Both teams are going to play really sticky physical defense here, and they don't really play. They don't really run and gun like that. So I'd be honest with you. I think the under is the better play in this game. I want Pelicans some way in this game, guys. So I'm breaking it down. That's why you guys watch the show. Even if I'm not on some official, I bet a lot of plays personally. You see what I'm saying? But Pelicans and under there, guys. That's what I'm looking at heavily there. Let's go over here to the streets of Denver here, guys. I always like to go official with the top plays, just not to give, you know what I'm saying? Don't want to be too bad for people, but I'll just try to give you guys looks, man. That's why you guys watch the show, man. But let's get out of here. We got the Nuggets here. We're going to the streets of Denver here, guys. We got the Nuggets here, laying 11.5 points versus the Houston Rockets. I'll be honest with you, it's Rockets or nothing for me here. It's an ugly type of game. This is obviously the quick revenge spot, but I don't even have much. I don't have many notes written down for this one. I just know I'm watching the last game and the Nuggets came out disinterested. Now you can't look at it like, hey, they came out disinterested on defense and they still smacked them up by 16 points. But I don't like the way that they come out unmotivated, not playing defense. It's almost like the Nuggets would have to cover this game on accident. So do I want to take some? I mean, the Rockets would definitely have to cover this game on accident as well. They're only 2-10 on the road. I know that's straight up wise, but man, this team is just the Rockets. They try to do it all offense. In the second half, they kind of just started shooting up a lot of BS shots. But I do think that there could be something to the Nuggets, maybe looking ahead they got a couple of games on the road versus the Hawks and the Pelicans after this. Maybe it's just like we'd rather play them, man. Teams just don't really respect the Rockets, and for good reason. But let's just put it this way. I'm not landing at 11.5 with the Nuggets here. I'm watching the last game. I'd actually like to take the Rockets here plus the 11.5. This line was at 12.5 yesterday. It's since come down. I think maybe a tad bit of sharp money here on the Rockets. I agree with it. I'd lean Rockets here plus 11.5. If I'm betting this game, I'm taking the Rockets. I'm looking towards the dog here. Let's go over here to the streets of Utah, guys. We have the Jazz here. Man, it's a lot of games today. We have the Jazz land 7 points versus the Clippers. Clippers exerted a ton of energy last night versus the Blazers. Huge comeback win. They were down double digits in that game. I keep looking at the score, and they just keep chipping away. In theory, you'd like to take the Jazz here. Obviously, the numbers on the Jazz, but you got to always remember, guys, people that's looking at the numbers, everything is baked into the line. So with the Jazz having the rest advantage and Clippers being off the overtime game, not overtime, back-to-back, third game in 4 nights. That's why this line is so high. See what I'm saying? So I used to hear people always say all the time, why is this line like this? It's like that for a reason, guys. So Jazz, they've lost 5 straight games. They're only 1-4 against the spread last 5. So not playing good basketball. But I will say this, if they play their brand of basketball that they're accustomed to, they may be able to get it done. I'm not laying 7 points with the Jazz here. They have really seemed to miss Conley out there. Just look at it. Ever since Conley's went out, they've literally lost 5 straight. So could be something to look at. But Jazz, in theory, should get the win. You do have a revenge spot. They beat the Clippers the first time, November 6th. Then Clippers just got some revenge on November 21st, 121-114. So in theory, Jazz are supposed to clean them up. It should come second half here, in my opinion. That's what I would do. I would maybe wait. Maybe it could be a close game in the first half, and then Jazz second half, fourth quarter, where in theory Clippers really supposed to run out of gas. They do match up well with the Jazz. It's just, I mean, they may even rest some guys here. They were already out, PG and Kawhi. So tough game for me, guys. In rest advantage, you'd say take the Jazz here. We wouldn't be surprised if this game got ugly in the second half, but part of me says that I know that the Clippers match up well, and I know that the Jazz are playing their best basketball. Lauri Markkanen just had the game of his life last game. It didn't matter. They still lost by 7. So that's concerning in my opinion. The Jazz were hitting threes, all that stuff. They still lost by 7. So maybe they're coming down to earth. I'm not laying the 7 with them here. Let's go over here to the streets of Phoenix here, guys. We have the Suns laying 5.5 points here versus the Bulls, man. You know what? The Suns kind of seem like they're just getting by, in my opinion. They're 11-1 at the house. Let me see what they are against the spread real quick. They're coming off a tight game versus the Kings. So they're 6-4 against the spread last 10, 8-4 against the spread at the house, 11-1 straight up. So that is where they ball. I kind of lean Bulls here, man. They've won and covered 3 of the last 4. Now, this is their 4th straight road game, right? They do have Golden State on deck, so that's not necessarily the best spot. Last time they played Golden State, they lost by 42. So I'll probably be looking towards the Bulls versus Golden State in that one. But you got the Suns here. They've won 5 straight, somewhat teetering on a loss, in my opinion. So let's see. Let's take a look at it here. So they beat the Lakers by 10. That's cool. Now they beat Detroit. That was a close game. They won that one by 6, right? Now next game they beat Utah by 1. Remember I said Utah kind of falling off right now. Then you just beat Sacramento. They was up in that game, but it was a close one though. I kind of feel like the Suns are somewhat teetering on the loss here. The Bulls, they're starting to show some here, guys. Obviously, when you have Levine and DeRozan, 2 dynamic scorers, all you have to do is kind of start playing a little defense. What are they doing? They're starting to lock up a little bit, man. The Bulls starting to play a little bit of defense. I'll tell you what, man. I lean Bulls here plus the 5.5. There may be one that I may need to hop on, to be honest with you, man. Let me see. Let's just look last 5 games real quick. Defensive rating. Suns do have number 1. Bulls, number 9 defensive rating in the last 5 games. They're starting to lock up here. Obviously, you have to stop Booker. Stop Booker, right? You can beat the Suns, man. I'm leaning Bulls here plus the 5.5. So I'm just here to give you the looks to let you know what I'm like. It's up to you. You're supposed to already have an idea of what you like, and then maybe watch the show like, okay, he liked this too. I'm gonna take it too. That's what I'd suggest. That's what I used to do. But Bulls plus 5.5. Heavily lean to the Bulls there, my guys. Now, 2 more games here. Now, I'm going to official with the Kings here, man. I can't be scared. I know that this is somewhat of a letdown spot for the Pacers. I'm watching the game versus the Lakers. They were down 16 points, I might add. I think the Kings here, I think they get the job done versus the Pacers here. This line opened up at 3.5. It moved to 4.5. I agree with you guys. Remember, I feel like the Pacers want a few of these games on this West Coast. These are late night sleepy spots. Now, I'll be honest. It may not catch up to them yet, guys. So I wouldn't be surprised what happens in this game, but I'll ride with the Kings here. This is a bounce back spot. This is somewhat of a must-win J spot here. Bounce back J here, man. Off 3 straight losses. They're 3-1 straight up and against the spread last 4 meetings versus the Pacers. So y'all know that Fox is going to want to go up against Fox and Sabonis are going to want to ball out against these guys. But Halliburton and Hield are going to want to ball out as well, but they're coming off an emotional win. Now you look at the Kings. They're 10-1 against the spread last 11 games with 1 day's rest. 5-2 against the spread last 7 home games. 7-3 against the spread last 10 versus winning road teams. The Kings play up to their competition. I guarantee you, Fox and Sabonis seeing the Pacers, what they're doing, they're balling out. Like, oh, okay, you think you guys won that trade, right? Pacers probably did win the trade with Halliburton, but still, oh, okay, you think you guys doing something now. They're coming off a huge emotional win versus the Lakers. Now, I'll be honest, it's 2 ways you could go. You could have a huge letdown spot. They were supposed to lose that game, and then they won it, see what I'm saying, in dramatic fashion. They could have a huge letdown. They could maybe go out and party, celebrate a little bit. On the other hand, it is very possible. I always like to keep it real with you guys. It's possible that they could build momentum for them and they keep it going into this game. I don't think so. I think it's a letdown spot. That was a huge emotional win as well. Keep in mind, Benedict Mathurin had that game circled, Miles Turner had that game circled, and Buddy Hield. So that's probably why they lost to the Clippers the game before. They wanted that game versus the Lakers bad. They still were down double digits in that game. Lakers old ass, their knees probably start ill, and in the fourth quarter, Pacers come all the way back to win it. They deserve to win that game. They were definitely a better team. I told you guys the Pacers were probably going to win that one. This is the letdown spot, if you ask me here, and the Kings. And what do you want here? Do you want the team coming out riding a high, still thinking about the game winning shot, or you want to ride with the Kings team that's lost 3 straight games versus 3 good teams? I mean, maybe not the Hogs, not a good team, but they were on the back-to-back third game in 4 nights. That was a horrible spot, but they hung in there with the Celtics. Obviously, they lost by 18, but they hung in there for a while. Game got away from them. Hung in there with the Suns. You see how hot the Suns are right now. Kings almost came back and won that game. I think they get to run and gun in here. Pacers like to run and gun as well. This is a late night sleepy spot, if you ask me, for the Pacers. It's a 10 o'clock Eastern game here, guys. So this is when this game gets to the fourth quarter, it's gonna be like it's gonna be like 1 o'clock in the morning, Indiana time here, guys. So give me the Kings here to run these guys off the floor. All the motivation in the world. 3 straight losses. Fox and Sabonis want to go up against their old guys. See what I'm saying? I think they want to show out here, and I think they can match up well, guys. Give me the Kings here, minus the 4.5. Second play of the day here, guys. Now let's go over here to the streets of LA. Last game up, we got the Lakers laying 5.5 points versus the Blazers. I'll be honest, I don't have much on this game. I am going to give out a college play that I did bet, but I don't have much on this game. Lakers, they've been at the house. They're due to cluster some wins. Blazers, horrible spot if you ask me, and could be in a letdown spot as well. Kind of seemed like they ran out of gas last night. They were coming off 4 straight road games. You come home, it's a bad spot. Don't ever bet a team coming back home off the road trip unless they lost every single game. But it's a flat spot. And then you head right back on the road the next day. This is somewhat what the Wolves did when they got blown out. So this is exactly what happened with the Wolves. They came back home off of East Coast, off of a little road trip, one home game, and then they had a back-to-back on the road the next day. What happened? They gave up 142 points. I'd like to lean Lakers here. I'd like to lean Lakers. They seem to run out of gas in fourth quarter as well. I'm not laying points with these guys, man, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Blazers got blown out like the Wolves did versus the Wizards. This is a horrible spot for them, and they're at the risk disadvantage here, guys. So now let's get to some free NBA picks real quick, man. I want to talk about some shirts, man. I've extended the sale here, guys. The shirts are going out. If you order a shirt, I've sent out about 20 of them yesterday, sent out another 20 today, guys. You can still get $10 off shirts. The Jay and Shark shirts is only $15, guys. The Smack City, Us Against the Bookies, and Let's Get Some Cash shirts are only $25 as well. So still $10 off. Use promo code WIN10 or just DM me on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I'm not really good at answering my messages, but I see you guys. I appreciate you. JMoneyIsMoney.com, the best way to order, guys. Now, let's get to some free NBA picks, looks, all that good stuff. Quick one, college basketball play. I hopped on North Carolina plus the 5.5. I'm not even sure what the line is at. I took it last night. It should be down to like 4.5 or some regards. I think North Carolina will get the win today, guys. So I took them plus the points. They're coming off 2 straight losses. I know that Baycott and another one of their guards are injured, but I do believe that they're going to tough it out and play here, guys. They know they're the number 1 team in the country, coming off 2 straight losses, man. They know that they got to win. They're getting points. Just trying to see what the new line is. So real quick, what are y'all seeing in the chat, man? Y'all help me out. I'm on North Carolina, man, plus the points. So I took them plus 5.5. I can't find it. What do y'all like it at, man? What are y'all liking in the chat? I like North Carolina here. I like North Carolina, but regardless of that, trying to see what y'all got to say in the chat, man. Oh my God, like in California plus 9, -4. They had -4.5. All right, so North Carolina plus 4.5, man. That's what I'm on. They not -4.5, are they? They plus 4.5. Yeah, they plus. Yeah, they say they've been a disappointment. Let's see what happens. I'm on North Carolina today, but regards to that, obviously, main play for me today is Wolves, guys. If you're gonna tell one play for me, one top play is the Wolves for me, plus 2.5. I'll be on them on money line as well. I do think the Wolves win this game. Also on the Kings, -4.5. I see a letdown spot from the Pacers. Huge emotional win. They're probably still thinking about the game-winning shot. This is the letdown spot, in my opinion, here. So I'm on Wolves plus the 2.5 and the money line. And the Kings, I'm on Kings as well, minus the 4.5. Honorable mentions, man. Pelicans plus the 1. Keep an eye out for CJ McCollum. CJ's in there. I'll probably be sprinkling a little some on the Pelicans, guys. Just keeping it straight, perfectly honest with you. Personally, I did sprinkle on the under 224. It's down to 222.5. I still like it, guys. I don't think that game gets past 215. Also, would lean towards the Nets as well. They're due to cluster wins. They somewhat own the Wizards as well. And I heavily lean to the Cavs, guys. I heavily lean to the Cavs. 5-time revenge spot versus Philadelphia. This number is all over them. First time being favored in the last 16 matchups, right? Bounce back spot, and 6 game in 9 days for the 76ers. Cavs -3.5 is definitely an honorable mention there. So Wolves, plus 2.5 and money line. Kings -4.5. Heavily lean to the Pelicans and the under. I did bet the under and heavily lean to the Cavs as well, -3.5, and North Carolina plus the 4.5. Let's get this cash today, my guys. I'm not fucking around. It's us against the bookies, man. I have a personal vendetta versus these freaking books. You see what I'm saying? I see how janky they are. I'm trying to take all their cheddar, and to be honest, I want to help you take their freaking money too, man. These motherfuckers janky. All they want you to do is bet same game parlays, 5-16 parlays. They want you to lose your money, man. They want you to lose your hard-earned money. I think it's BS, man. I think that's crooked as hell. Let's get this cash. It's us against the bookies, man. Screw them. Let's go undefeated today and smack these motherfuckers up. We will win, my guys. Let's get this cash. Hit the like button, subscribe. We out, my guys. Let's cash. We will win.